few months ago, I did a kitchen cabinet install using the Cabinotch cabinet system. They send you basically flat packed cabinets that you then assemble yourself. In this example, I used their frameless cabinets, which use the Lamello, I believe, Tenzo connectors to basically snap together. It was all pre-finished UV plywood or unfinished white oak veneer plywood that then I finished myself to assemble the cabinets. This made this job go very quickly and very easily, and overall the quality of the boxes is just as good as I could make in my own shop. We did white oak, and so part of the advantage is I was still able to do a full custom cabinet job, but just outsource the boxes themselves. Here's the white oak doors, completely done that our customer wanted, and the stain that they wanted, and I was able to trim it out accordingly. Um, and we were able to tie that into the existing kitchen. We only did the uppers, the lowers got painted, the oven cabinet got fully replaced, the vent hood stayed, and then the countertops got replaced. And that allowed our customer to get essentially a whole new kitchen for not as much as a whole new kitchen would cost. Here we weren't able to completely use only their cabinets. For the oven cabinet, the weird nook it was, we had to build a cabinet specifically for that. But everything else, especially the uppers, installed with these Cabino cabinet hangers. I think I'm saying that right. You install a metal cleat on the wall and then use that to level and plumb it. And we were able to put a laser level up, get all that installed, and that was super easy. I absolutely love those, and even on cabinets that I build, I'll do it in the future. Even, cutting out for an outlet, we did fur that out and put a nice plate on to make it look nicer. Was very nice. So overall, I'm incredibly pleased with how the Cabinotch system worked. You can see the finished product, well, almost the finished product, and we trim it out, and it just came out very nice. So still gave a very custom look, but saved a ton of time for us doing the cabinets. All right, so I wanted to do a quick kind of cost comparison between what Cabinotch costs versus what it would cost to build yourself. So here is a very basic cabinet modeled up. This is 12 inches deep, 30 inches wide, 42 inches tall, with 2 adjustable shelves and a half-inch back. So 3/4 inch sides, half-inch back. And this is how this is the material I would normally build it. I didn't model up all my dados and everything for this example just because I didn't feel like doing that. So coming over to Cabinotch's website, here you can see we have a 30-inch wide cabinet. The height is 42, our depth is 22. We've got half-inch rails in style, or 1.5-inch rails in styles. Here you can see, and then the top is 2 1/4. And you can do other detail views as well to kind of see how this cabinet is going to look. And you can work with a Cabinotch sales representative. I did on my order, and he was incredibly helpful. Not at all a pushy salesperson, but truly trying to help you solve the problems you have, and was very happy with him. And not sponsored or anything. I paid full price. They have no idea I'm doing this video. Not asking permission to do this video. Just putting up this video. But anyway, so I've got 2 adjustable shelves. I'm going to use soft maple for my face frame. And then I did opt to do full half-inch drawer, or 3/4 inch drawer. No, I'm sorry. 3/4 inch cabinet box sides. So top, bottom, and the sides are all 3/4 inch plywood. The back is a half-inch. And that's pretty standard for how I build cabinets. So I try to do an apples and apples the best I can. But you can fully customize this. In the kitchen I used frameless cabinets, but most of the time I build face frame cabinets, and this was just the quicker way to get the price. So you can see UV Pure Bond interior. This is a domestic maple plywood, very high quality plywood, and so it's very good materials that you're getting. and you can see it was $172.88. Now, if I come over here to SketchUp, you can see I basically built the same cabinet. I don't have my top rail the same height, but that's pretty insignificant for this example. So I'm going to open up open cut list, and I've already got all my materials labeled, and I even put prices in. But you can see I've got my beech hardwood. I use beech a lot. It's about the same price as soft maple. And I've got 3/4 inch plywood. I've got 1/2 inch plywood. I've got all my cuts and measurements laid out for everything I need. And the cool thing about Open Cut List, if you have the paid version of SketchUp, is you can generate a little cut list. So I'm going to generate a cut list, and you can see that my total material cost will be about $86. You can also see your unused, and that's basically it's priced by the sheet that you would need, and also calculate some material efficiencies and those things like that. But realistically, the cost to produce my cabinet, same cabinet, would be $86 purely in materials. Now let's switch over to, I made a little spreadsheet, so you can see Cabinotch is $172.88. Shop built is $186. So that's, about half the price in materials. But where the difference comes is in assembly and how long it takes you to build the cabinet. So it took about 15 minutes or a quarter of an hour to assemble each cabinet out of the box. That kind of included the average of uncrating everything, sorting it, and then assembling it. Like I kind of kept track of my time. 15 minutes, you were done. You had a built cabinet, which is pretty darn awesome. So that brings your total cost per box on average. This is an average, of course. So it'd be about $191.63. Now, my shop built cabinet. Now, it cost me $86. Now, that's using the same materials, okay? That's using a domestic UV plywood, maple plywood. That's the same quality. That's using beech hardwood face frames. That's using a 1/2 inch UV plywood back. Again, these are the more expensive materials. If you use imported materials or lower quality materials, yes, you could get that cost down. But I'm trying to be as apples to apples as I can. And personally, I like using those domestic materials because, one, they really are that much nicer. The big cost is in labor. Now, I figure my labor rate at about $75 a man hour. I figure to go from raw material, 2 whole sheets of plywood, enough S3S lumber to build the face frame, to cut all of that, mill all of it, assemble it, and have it essentially sanded and ready for finish is going to take about 2 hours. Now, that might be slow for some of you who have bigger shops and bigger tools and that kind of production capability. For some of you with less tools, that might take you even longer. I don't know, but that's about what it would take me at honestly a pretty good clip. I don't know if I could keep up that pace all day in my shop for 2 hours to have a fully ready to finish cabinet from essentially raw materials. So you can see my cost per box in this scenario would end up being $236. That's about a I'm just going to say $45 difference. So $44.37. So that's kind of a big deal. And I'm also saving about an hour and 45 minutes per cabinet box. So out of 11 cabinet boxes, let's just round up to I'm saving 2 hours. That's 22 hours saved. That's half a week. So it was really easy to save half a week's worth of labor for me just ordering my boxes like this. Now, clearly, if you are a multi-person wood shop and you have guys working for you who cost you, like your loaded labor is like $30 an hour for this employee, it's going to be better for you to make your own cabinet boxes. But for me as a one-person shop, it actually came out better for me to order my boxes for them, and I had $44 of essentially pure profit. And then I was able to focus on the really custom aspects of making sure our doors were custom profiled to match the other doors, making sure it was trimmed out very nicely, making sure that we made the custom trim that the customer wanted. All those little details that make a cabinet job a custom install and not just, boxes. I was able to focus my attention on that instead of like, okay, I've got to make all these boxes. So for that reason, I really liked them, and I would absolutely use them again in the future if I have a job where it makes sense. I've had two jobs where it made sense to use them, and then I had another job where it was just such a custom job that it didn't make sense to use Cabinotch in that scenario. But if you're kind of sticking with your base kitchen cabinet sizes, they can customize them for you. And yeah, so overall, very happy. USA made cabinets. You finish them yourself. You buy your own doors. You build your own doors. You can buy drawers for them or build your drawers yourself. Up to you. Great quality, great customer service, and even when you factor in your shipping cost for the cabinet package, like once you hit a certain price point, they will send them to you. I think they waive the shipping cost, but the shipping wasn't that crazy in comparison, and it's still, once you factored in all those additional costs, as long as you're doing a big enough job, it makes sense. Now, if I just needed a single cabinet, paying freight shipping for a single cabinet box wouldn't make sense. But for an entire kitchen, by the time you divide up that shipping cost into all your cabinets, you're still making $35 a box. So hope that makes sense. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know if you would consider using Cabinotch or not. If you have a different experience and you have used Cabinotch and it was a very bad experience, let people know, because I didn't find a lot about them outside of their own content, which is good content. And I'm happy to say that the way they presented their product is very accurate to my experience that I got with them. So see you later.